What's up, guys? It is Coasters and Things here today, back again with the second episode of our new podcast that we call The Thrill Life. Once again, I'm joined with Beyond the Thrills.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our second episode. Thanks to everybody who listened on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and also who watched the first episode here on Coasters and Things on YouTube. So we appreciate everyone who watched our first episode. And yeah, we're ready to get the ball rolling and get everything going with this podcast. And yeah, it's exciting stuff. It's only going to get better from here. So what do you say? We jump right in?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump in.
All right, cool. So our first topic today is none other than the wooden box with an RMC logo on the front was spotted outside of Hersheypark. So if it already wasn't confirmed, it is now. RMC Wildcat confirmed? Yes? No?
What was pretty much confirmed is now all but confirmed, as far as I'm concerned. Because 2 days ago, October 2nd, today is October 4th, for those of you watching this at a later date. Today is October 4th, 2022. But 2 days ago, October 2nd, 2022, crates were spotted near Wildcat with the RMC logo on them.
Yeah, and as you can see in this photo right here on the screen, that's RMC's logo. We're not making it up. So if it already wasn't confirmed, it pretty much is now. And I was one of those people that when they announced, what was it? They announced it in May, and then Wildcat closed forever on July 31st, right?
Yes, I was on the last public train ever.
I was going to say, you were there, right?
It was in the rain. It was pouring down all day.
Yeah. I remember you did a video and everything. That must have been a cool experience. What was I going to say? Oh, I didn't know at first. I thought maybe they were going to remove Wildcat as a whole. And I know there were rumors for like a couple years about a dive coaster or a B&M wing or B&M dive. Now, after Wildcat did close, I expected Hershey to make an announcement in August. Now, all this time has gone by, and we still don't officially know from the park if it's actually RMC Wildcat. But this definitely helped. I mean, what do you think?
Going back to the B&M dive thing real quick, supposedly Hersheypark had some sort of contract with B&M to build like 2 or 3 coasters. Candemonium was the first one. Candemonium was the first one. And then the other 2 possibilities I think could be in Hersheypark's near future are either a dive coaster or wing coaster. Hopefully not a dive coaster, because it would have vest restraints.
I like Valraven personally, but I'm not going to act like, and Griffin's cool too. I'm not going to act like vest restraints are good though, but I still think they're fun rides. But if I had to choose between a wing or a dive, even though they are like the same restraints, I'd probably still go with a wing. They're just cooler experiences, I think.
Honestly, the restraints are the difference. The difference is between those two. A dive coaster with the old over-the-shoulder restraints, I would take over a wing coaster. But I would take a wing coaster over a dive coaster with vest restraints.
Okay, I could see that. So, yeah, there still is a chance that Hersheypark down the line could get a dive coaster or a wing coaster.
Yeah, or an RMC T-Rex, because now with the new T-Rex concept that just came out, now there's rumors about Hersheypark getting that after RMC Wildcat.
I mean, maybe they're signing a contract with RMC. We don't know. But anyway, we just wanted to touch on this real quick because it was pretty exciting to finally see RMC on site. Like, yes, they've been removing pieces of track and the station is pretty much almost torn apart. All that has been going on for the last month and a half, but nothing regarding RMC. But now we finally have something to do with RMC on site. So yeah, really exciting stuff.
Can I say a couple more things about this topic for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what could be in that crate? I don't know. Could be maybe like some small supports or something like that. Or it could be nothing. Hersheypark could be just trolling us. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. And if they are trolling us and it does happen to not be RMC Wildcat and they tear down Wildcat as a whole, I'm going to lose my mind.
Don't think Hersheypark would do that. I think it is going to be still. And actually, when I interned at Hersheypark this summer, management there told me that they were very excited about announcing a new attraction late in the fall. I wonder what that could be.
Yeah. Well, it's already October, so I think if they're going to announce it, it should be this month because Christmas Candy Lane starts in November, and that's not their fall season anymore.
Yeah, I think they're going to announce it at some point during Dark Nights.
Yeah. With the RMC crate, there's no way that it's not confirmed. It's confirmed.
RMC Wildcat, that'll give Hersheypark's coast one of the best. Yeah. With RMC Wildcat, that'll give Hersheypark one of the best coaster lineups ever, even though they already have one of the best already.
Oh, yeah. Now, let me ask you this real quick. I know we keep dragging on this topic, but it's exciting stuff. So let's talk about it at least for another minute. Where do you think it'll rank in the park's lineup?
My guess is number 3.
Behind, well, I know you rank it Sky Rush and Candymonium. And I actually have thought about this recently. I may like Sky Rush more than Candymonium again after my ride in July. I had a pretty awesome ride in the front row. They're both so good, but yeah, I agree. I would probably put it in the 3 or 4 range. I think both Fahrenheit and Storm Runner are awesome too.
Oh yeah, although it's tough to beat Sky Rush and Candymonium. Those are 2 of the best coasters of their kind.
Yeah, exactly. And I know people are saying like there's a chance that it could be a 200-foot RMC. I don't see that personally.
It could be maybe around 150 feet.
I would say that's the max. Yeah. I don't think they're going 200. I don't know. And the parking lot's right there. I think they're just going to work with the already existing structure rather than add on to it. Now, obviously they'll need to add more wood for, the wood that's damaged, but I don't think they're going to actually change the structure all that much.
I don't think they'll do to it what Busch Gardens did to Gwazi. I don't think they go that magnitude.
And Gwazi, they also had a lot more room to work with because that was 2 coasters and Wildcat was 1.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, really exciting stuff. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we find out what this is all about and we finally get a name, hopefully not Twisted Twizzler, and we go from there.
I hate that name idea so much.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really excited once Hershey does actually announce their 2023 attraction, which should be RMC Wildcat.
Could be any day now.
Could be any day now. We don't know. But all right, let's move on to our next topic, which is come on.
It's already
there.
out.
It is. Ah, there we go. It was a little frozen on my screen. Universal Orlando and Walt Disney World officially reopen after Hurricane Ian. Jurassic Park River Adventure, however, suffered some damage. So as you can see in this photo, there was damage to the building for Jurassic Park River Adventure at Universal's Islands of Adventure.
Yeah, so both Universal Orlando Resort and Walt Disney World announced a week ago, September 27th, that they would be closed on the 28th and the 29th because of Hurricane Ian. Universal began a phased reopening, starting with Halloween Horror Nights, just for the hotel guests on September 30th, and then Universal Orlando as a whole reopened on October 1st.
Keep going.
I think most of you guys know this already and have seen this, but Incredible Hulk, the tunnel on it flooded badly.
Yeah, I think of the 2, I don't even want to call them parks, of the 2 resorts, Universal suffered more damage than Disney.
Yeah, they'll have to drain the water out of the tunnel before that coaster can reopen again.
Supposedly, Dudley Do Rights is closed right now too, which is the log flume at Islands of Adventure. I don't know if you've seen that.
It looks like one of the greatest log flumes in the world.
I did not get to go on it, but when I go back in May, you better believe I'm going to try it out because I'm a big log flume fan. The question is, will it have just as strong of airtime as Coal Cracker at Hersheypark?
Yeah. Every single ride at Universal looks like one of the best of its kind.
Yeah. No, definitely. They're just everything's just so immersive, and the theming and everything just put into all their attractions is just, you can tell they're all thought out and every little detail. Like it's just crazy. But yeah, Universal and Disney did suffer some damage, not as much damage as some of the houses in Orlando, because I mean, this is no shock to anyone. And anywhere you read about Hurricane Ian, everywhere says it was one of the most deadliest storms in recent years. And it's absolutely horrible what's gone on in Florida.
It's the deadliest storm to have ever hit Florida, I believe.
Yeah, it's some of the pictures and videos I've seen. It's just so like sad. Those of you that are watching this that are in Florida, stay safe, hang in there. We got you guys in our prayers. It's terrible, but at least the amusement parks are back open. And
yeah, I personally don't live in Florida, but I know some other enthusiasts who do, and they've sent pictures to me of what it looks like. It's flooded completely. But Universal reopened on October 1st. Disney World actually began their reopening process on September 30th, a day before Universal did. And something that
I said this in our last episode, they didn't want to close at all, Disney. Do you remember that? They didn't want to close at all. They were like, the storm will be nothing. We can stay open. Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. But something I found really interesting is the Disney parks, they reopened in sequential order that they first opened to the public. Magic Kingdom opened at 10 a.m., Epcot opened at 11 a.m., Hollywood Studios opened at noon, and Animal Kingdom opened at 1 p.m. And that's the order in which they opened to the public. Magic Kingdom was first, then Epcot, then Hollywood Studios, and then Animal Kingdom.
Do you think there's a chance that Disney World, obviously Universal Orlando is getting Epic Universe, but do you think there's a chance that Disney World were to ever add a fifth theme park? They have the water parks, obviously, but do you think they add another theme park?
I think it might be in the future, not within the next 5 years, but maybe in 20 years, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of money that Disney makes they pretty much own. Don't they own Fox now? I saw The Simpsons are on Disney Plus now. They own literally everything.
People who stayed at the Disney resorts, they got early entry into the parks as well. The other Florida parks, they reopened on October 1st as well. Busch Gardens Tampa, SeaWorld Orlando, the Fun Spots, and Legoland Florida. And speaking of Busch Gardens Tampa real quick, Cheetah Hunt, the trench in it that has the launch, that flooded as well. Although I know that has flooded before, so I know they know how to handle that.
But I'm sure this was a lot more water than what they're used to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But at least they have some experience. So yeah, it's still like crazy to me that the parks were able to open so quickly. I mean, I'm not really surprised that Disney was able to do it. They, like I said, or like we said, they didn't want to close in the first place. So they probably, as this was all going on, were planning, how can we reopen in 2 days, regardless of guest safety? But it's still, it's impressive that they were able to reopen so soon. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. That's pretty much all we got on Hurricane Ian. Again, good luck to everyone that's been fighting the storm out there. Stay safe, and you're thinking about you guys.
Everyone that lives on the East Coast up north, stay safe as well.
Right. All right.
Oh, goodness.
Next, we're going to talk about the Zamperla Nebula, which is the same ride as Mixed at Hersheypark, which we've both been on. There's one coming to the island in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Now, let me just say real quick, There is one at Hersheypark, mixed, obviously, and there's also one at Luna Park in Coney Island, New York. I've never been to Luna Park, but I know there is one there, and I don't know where exactly it's located, but I'm almost positive it's right near the Tickler. Those who have been to Luna Park, let me know down in the comments where exactly it's located in the park, but I've seen pictures of it before. And yeah, they're all basically the same. So have you been to the island before?
Yes, I have. So for those of you who don't know, the island, it's a small little entertainment complex in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. They have a small amusement park. There's a total of 8 rides there, including one roller coaster, an SBF spinner called Spinning Parrot, and a big old Ferris wheel. Those are the notable rides. On October 1st, the island announced that they will be adding 5 new rides. The Zamperla Nebula was the one that was featured on their social media posts. It's the exact same ride as Mixed Flavor by Jolly Rancher at Hersheypark that was added this year that we both rode. It was both of our first times experiencing a nebula.
I still can't believe. When were we at? Do you remember the date exactly? It was like near the end of July when we hung out at Hershey.
July 19th, I think.
It was either the 18th or the 19th. I think it was the 19th because I went to Dutch Wonderland the day before. But anyway, I was surprised that it was the first time you ever went on it. And you never operated that ride either?
No.
I will say this, though. It looks like a pain to operate.
Yeah, I had a couple of friends who operated it like multiple times a week, and they complained about it a lot. At first, when the island announced this, I didn't really wasn't too happy about it. However, the more I think about it, the more I think it's a good addition for that park. I thought Mixed Flavor by Jolly Rancher, I thought it was okay. I just didn't really like the over-the-shoulder restraints on it.
I'll say this, and it's very similar to a Ferris wheel, how you go through the ride cycle and then you sit at the top while the guests below you board the ride. And that kind of, and yes, you're getting 2 cycles in one, but it's kind of boring. Plus, we also were not facing Jolly Rancher Remix when we were riding. We were facing the food.
Yeah.
we were facing like where all the food locations are. Kind of Storm Runner's Top Hat. But anyway, if there was a way where they could have designed it where while the other riders are boarding, everyone could face Jolly Rancher Remix, but that's just not the way the ride was designed. It would have made it a lot better, though.
And something I don't really like about those nebulas is that it takes a long time to load them. And another thing I don't like about those Zamperla nebulas, they tend to break down a lot. They tend to suffer a lot of downtime. Mixed would break down every single day at Hersheypark.
Now, I don't know this. You may know this, maybe not. Do Zamperla flat rides break down a lot?
Typically, no. Typically, they're pretty good in terms of reliability. Now, they do feel kind of cheap, but
depends on what you ride. I don't think the Giant Discoveries do. Like Wonder Woman at Great Adventure, I feel like that feels good.
Yeah, although like the air races and the discos, those kind of feel really cheap sometimes.
Okay, those are rides that you'll find at a fair, though, too. So
yeah, and there's a few of those rides in existence. The original one is at Coney Island Luna Park. It's called Clockwork, actually.
Yep.
Carowinds is getting one next year called Gear Spin. Nonetheless, I think this actually is a pretty good addition for the island since they don't get too big of crowds.
No. I mean, it's just a family entertainment center, right? And how far is it from Dollywood? Like 10 minutes?
Exactly 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously if you're in the area or if you're even if you're a local or if you're a tourist, which of the two are you going to go to? Dollywood,
yeah. But if I had to make some predictions for what the other 4 rides are going to be, I think I would be crazy not to guess a Scrambler and a Tilt-A-Whirl because they don't have either of those.
Yeah, I could see that. Do you think there's a chance they could add one of those? What are they called? I think they're SBF. They have one at this entertainment center not too far from me called I Play America. It spins around.
I think if they were to add a coaster, it would obviously be a kiddie coaster. I would probably something along the lines of like an ENF Myler Python pit.
Or they could get a Zamperla Family Gravity since they're working with Zamperla, even though those rides are really janky.
I much prefer the ENF kiddie coasters over the Zamperla ones.
Yeah, and for us young adults and parents, it's a lot easier to ride with a younger kid in an ENF Miler train than to try and squeeze yourself in a Zamperla Family Gravity train, because those are pretty cramped.
Yeah. Or they could have gotten a package deal with Zamperla where all 5 rides are Zamperla. You never know.
True. Very true. All right. So now we're going to move on. This is one that could be a longer segment. What is actually going on with Top Thrill Dragster? Is there a chance they're actually adding LSMs? Because I have no idea. I'm going to let you start this off. I want to hear from you.
Okay, so they're taking the track apart very carefully. So that's a small sign that they don't want to remove it, as far as I see.
Now, you said, I'm almost positive, you either texted me this or you said it in the last episode. You think Top Thrill Dragster is done for. That's what you said. I mean,
I hope not, but I don't know. But they're not doing to it what they did to Wicked Twister. Wicked Twister, they just gave it the torch. Top Thrill Dragster, they actually took the track apart very carefully, and they didn't take all the track apart. It was just the launch. It was just the launch track, the brakes, and the station track.
Right.
I've read the top hat.
Yeah, that's the biggest clue that it is probably staying. If they had already started to take down the top hat, then that would be pretty obvious it's done for. But I will say this. Do you think there's a chance, because I've read a lot of different articles, do you think there's a chance that they'll add an inversion to the ride? Because there are some articles that I've read that have said the whole reimagining is not only LSMs, but a rollover inversion.
No way. No way. I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
I doubt it, but it would be cool, because I will say one thing that now I never got to go on Top Thrill Dragster because both times I've been to Cedar Point were these last 2 years when it's been closed. So I will say something that I think King Ka has over Dragster is that instead of slowing down into the brakes flat, King Ka has somewhat of a hill. Now, some enthusiasts will say you get airtime. I've never really gotten any airtime on that hill. It's more just thrilling, I guess you could say, rather than going straight. I don't know. You've ridden Dragster. What do you think is better?
Yeah, I've ridden Dragster one time in the back row 3.5 years ago.
So what do you think? What do you think's better? The giant hill going back, or just going straight into the brakes?
I like going up the giant top hat, actually.
No, I'm saying going into the brakes. What do you think's better?
I think I like Dragster's ending a little better, just going into the brakes.
Really? See, I feel like I would like the hill better because there's more to it rather than just going straight. Although I will say this, maybe it feels like 2 launches in one.
Maybe. You just go fast over that little hill on King Ka. You don't get any airtime.
You're saying if it had airtime, maybe you would like it better?
Maybe.
Okay. So
now I like King Ka more than most people do. I like King Ka more than most people do. But
I love King Ka. I'm so glad I have it at my home park. I don't take it for granted enough.
Yeah. I really wish I had a launch coaster like that at one of my home parks. But if they were to give Dragster the LSM launch, I don't know. LSM accelerations are nowhere near as quick as hydraulic launches or air compressed launches. And I don't think they'd give it the air compressed launch because we saw how well that worked out with Hypersonic XLC.
How fast do you think it'll go?
Well, obviously at least 120 miles an hour because it barely makes over the top hat. Literally at 5 miles an hour, it crests the top hat. Just 5 miles an hour after 120 mile per hour takeoff. They could bump it up to like 130.
There's a chance. There definitely is a chance.
Faster than King Ka. I never thought I'd see the day.
That's right, because King Ka is 128 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that till you just said that. Yeah, I don't know. It's anything could happen. There was a time, and I'm saying like literally 3 weeks ago, where I was like, oh, Dragster's done for. Now, I think there's some hope.
They removed the hydraulic launch portions from the launch track, and then they took the launch track off completely, but in each section.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. Anything can happen. It would be pretty awesome if it does stay, because then Cedar Point's only launch coaster would be Maverick, because they don't have Wicked Twister anymore either, like you said.
Yeah, but here's another question real quick. If it were to stay, would it have the same name?
Yeah, probably, just because it's so iconic and well-renowned. Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't be the same if it was called something different, or maybe they would call it like Dragster the sequel or Dragster 2.0. I don't know. It would still be the same theme. I'll give you that. They'll still have the car out front. It'll still be racing themed, and they'll have the bleachers. I think all that would stay the same.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to like this topic.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There is track on site for Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood. Not really much else to say, but how are you feeling? You excited for once construction really starts? I know they've added footers. You did a video on it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I should be going back to Dollywood in a few days to see it in person for myself, the track for the first time.
Yeah. So where is the track placed? Is it in a parking lot, or is it like on the construction site?
It's on the construction site.
Oh, so you'll be able to see it then.
Yeah, from riding the train. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And the manufacturer is Vekoma, right?
Yeah.
I remember when they announced it, you were skeptical on what it was. You didn't know what it was from the animation. I didn't really know either.
I don't think anybody knew until Dollywood confirmed it, because we had never seen a track type like that before.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's Zamperola, maybe it's Zyre. I'm like, no, it's not Zyre, because Zyre's track design is a lot, I guess, skinner, and the tubes aren't as like wide. Like, just look at like Runaway Tram at Maurice Piers. That's a good example of like what most of Zyre's coasters look like. At least they're modern ones. So I didn't think it was Zyre. And then for a minute, I also thought maybe it was S&S, but I didn't know.
I didn't think it was S&S. I thought it might have actually been Gerstlauer.
Yeah, they've worked with Dollywood before with Mystery Mine, and Fire Chaser is Gerstlauer, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we know Hersheypark loves Gerstlauer.
Right. But yeah, very exciting stuff out of Dollywood. And I decided to add this in as a special segment instead of just our 5 up-to-date news portion of the show today. So this is our first special segment on the podcast. Name 3 coaster models you'd love to have at your home park. So I'll do one, then you do one, then I'll do one, then you do one. We'll go back and forth. So First, I'm going to say a multi-launch coaster. And I would probably go either Intamin or Premier Rides. Really Intamin at Great Adventure, but realistically, I think if they were to ever get one of the two, it would be Premier Rides. Maybe East Coast Racers, but I highly doubt it, because West Coast Racers is themed after West Coast Customs, which is on the West Coast. So people act like it has to do with the coast. It doesn't really have to do with that. It's all about West Coast Customs. So I don't think East Coast Racers will ever like become a thing, but it would be really cool if they were to add that. But yeah, I would probably go my first one, either a Premier Rides or Intamin, just some sort of multi-launch coaster that duels. I think 2 of them would be really cool.
Yeah, so for my first pick, you know what it is. For most parks, they wouldn't never even consider getting this, but Dollywood has a legit shot at getting it in the future, and that's a Mach Extreme Spinner. I want that.
They do.
I want that so bad at Dollywood because Time Traveler was awesome at Silver Dollar City.
Do you like Time Traveler or Outlaw Run more?
I like Outlaw Run a little more, but Time Traveler is great. Now, I don't think it would have a 90-degree drop out of the station like Time Traveler does. Time Traveler only has that because of the terrain. It drops into a ravine.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, and maybe you want to show them your shirt because this has to do with it. Do you think they'll ever get a B&M Hyper or Giga?
I think they would probably get a B&M. Well, for sure they'd get a B&M Hyper before a Giga. I think every park needs
a shirt.
Even though the shirt I'm repping is Orion, if you can't tell.
That's a cool shirt.
That's better. You can kind of see it in there.
That's a really cool shirt.
But I think Dollywood, that'd be my second pick for what I'd like to see at Dollywood. Behind the Mach Spinner, I'd like to see a B&M Hyper. Now, if they don't get a B&M Hyper, I'm not that bummed about it because my other home park has a B&M Hyper, Six Flags Over Georgia with Goliath.
True.
Now, it's definitely not smooth, but it has good airtime.
That's cool. All right, so my number 2 pick, I think I'm going to go a Vekoma Family Boomerang. I know that's very random, but I've seen the one at Energylandia, and those rides look pretty cool, actually. And I think Great Adventure needs, because it's not a kiddie coaster, like it would be more thrilling than Runaway Mine Train or Harley Quinn Crazy Train or Little Devil, obviously. Yeah. So I think it would be like Great Adventure is kind of lacking in that in between. You go from Mine Train all the way up to, well, they do have Skull Mountain. Yeah, but that's in the dark. They need something outside that kind of just has, that's mostly just like a couple little drops, a couple little airtime moments, a couple twists and turns. Like, I feel like they just need a coaster like that has lap bars, and the Family Boomerangs have lap bars. So yeah, I'm going to go a Vekoma Family Boomerang. Those rides look cool.
You mentioned Energylandia's Vekoma Family Boomerang. Don't they have like 2 Vekoma Family Boomerangs, I think?
Yeah, I'm thinking of the purple one. I don't know what it's called. They have like, what, 20-some coasters? I can't even remember all the names.
18, I think.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They're
up Six Flags Magic Mountain. They're going to have the most coasters of any park in the world soon.
Yeah, very soon, I think. All right, so then what's your number 3? And then I'll finish it off.
That's a really tough pick. A new generation Vekoma, like Let Coaster.
Okay, or the one at Energylandia too, Formula, right?
Yeah.
Both of those rides look awesome.
Or even Phoenix at Park, is it? Far Up Summerland, I think.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Is that the correct park? I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. That's a good pick. My last pick, I'm probably well, we pretty much have every B&M model you can think of besides a wing and a dive. We have literally everything else, and we don't need a sit down because, I mean, floorless and a sit down are very, very similar. They do pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, because y'all have a floorless, y'all have a stand up, y'all have a flyer, y'all have an invert, and y'all have a hyper for B&Ms.
Right. I'm gonna go an Intamin Megalite.
Okay. Do they still make those?
That's the one thing. If they still make those, I'm not 100% sure. Something along those lines with the cable lift and a lot of snap turns and a lot of airtime moments, because for those of you watching and follow me on Instagram, you know I love Maverick. And Intamin Megalites, like if you really think about it, Maverick really is a Megalite just with, what, 2 inversions? The twisted horseshoe roll?
It's close, except it has launches. The closest coaster in America to compare to a Megalight is Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom.
Lightning Run, you think? Okay, I can see that.
That's the closest comparison to a Intamin Megalight in North America.
Right. That's another coaster model I would like to see at Great Adventure. Chance Rides, what are they called? Hyper GTX?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The second one's getting built right now over in Arizona.
Right. Yeah. And so I think I'd probably say that's my 3. The Vekoma Family Boomerang.
That was out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know, random, but I think it would be cool for a park like Great Adventure that tries to. I think in recent years they're trying to attract not just like teenagers and adults. I think they're trying to start because they just updated Safari Kids and now it's like junior thrill seekers. I think they're going to start to try and add more family rides. So it's not just teenagers using it as their hangout. And, there's more of like a family atmosphere again, like how it used to be in its heyday.
Yeah, they're trying to make it not be a daycare for teenagers.
I did read that.
Salim Basul gets me so mad.
We could honestly do a whole episode on that guy and on the new season passes. We can have that discussion another day, but we're not trying to have a 6-hour episode. So that's pretty much it for today's episode of The Thrill Life. I'll let you take over here, Jason.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in next week for another episode of The Thrill Life. And this is Coasters and Things and
Beyond the Thrills.
Signing out.